No walkover here today. Remember the return leg next weekend down in Durban. That win for Arrows in the league last season was won in the last 17 against Sundowns. So it has been one side of the matches between these two teams. A big welcome, of course, to Teko Modise alongside me as our expert analyst. Early days in this cup competition, but we can expect some fireworks today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cleason. Yes, early on, we can expect that, I'm sure, but maybe the biggest opponent in today's game is going to be the weather, because it's scorching hot out there. So, but with the Mamelodi Sundowns team that really relies on playing football, maybe keeping the ball, that might help them.
Lots of changes here. Of course, the 2-0 win over Marumo Gallants in midweek came with a heavy cost. Kuliso Mudau out with a ruptured Achilles, so Zuko Mudenyawa comes in at right back. Aubrey Modiba's back on the left. They've also brought in Keegan Johannes for Grant Kekana in defence. Ricardo Goss is the goalkeeper ahead of Robin Williams, and Lebo Mutiba plays up front in place of Tashrik Matthews. So 5 changes in all for Mamelodi Sundowns, 4 of them in defence, just a single one in attack. For Golden Arrows, well, 2 changes from the side that drew with Galaxy last weekend. They did not have a midweek game. There's a debut for the Ivorian defender, Ironi Agnikoi. He comes from Marumo Gallants. He replaces Gianni in the starting lineup, and Sotoli preferred to Van Niel in attack. He'll be the man that they look to for some pace alongside Sedi Dion, last season's leading goal scorer in the league. Christopher Kistor from Cape Town is in charge of today's match, with the Messrs Sebati and Nhlanhla as our 2 linesmen for this afternoon's encounter. I don't want to officially call it yet, Teko, but is summer here? Because, as you said, it is scorching.
Yeah, summer it is here. It is scorching hot in Pretoria today. I think what Golden Arrow says to them, the approach that they will try and deploy is to maybe just to try and just be behind the ball as much as they can, rely on those counter-attack, knowing that there is a second leg. But for Mamelodi Sundowns, with all the changes, it's important for the players that have been given opportunity to step up, and also it's important for Mamelodi Sundowns here at home to be able to get those maximum points that they need.
And don't forget, rather, if you didn't hear Pitso Dladla, the coach, just reminding us all that the away goal rule counts. So Arrows will be looking for something potentially on that counter to take back to Durban.
Indeed, but the only troubling matter is this is a team that in 4 official matches have just only scored 1. So they need to try and do better, especially with the changes that we've created.
Miguel Cardoso, 58 wins in 92 games in charge of Mamelodi Sundowns. The big one, of course, the Champions League at the end of last season. Pitso Dladla won the Nedbank Cup with Durban City just a couple of months ago. He's got good cup pedigree, started his career at Richards Bay. He's got Ashley Makanya next to him. Some of you will remember him as a tough tackling fullback at Witwatersrand Wits, Wits University in those days. They look a little pensive and a bit nervous out there, but as everyone will remind you, this game really only the first half in this tie. Orlando Pirates winners away against Sekhukhune United yesterday, so they've got a foot in the final. They would need to be beaten at home next weekend to be denied a place in the final. They're looking for 5 consecutive MTN8s. As a former Sundowns player, maybe you can explain to us, why have Sundowns always performed badly in this competition?
I think with Mamelodi Sundowns, I think it's always the problem of starting so slow. It's always been a problem. It's always been a trophy that has been eluding the club. Even when I was there, we never really found an answer to why we're such slow starters. And it's a trophy also that helps to set the tone, like Jimmy said a bit earlier on. And I think for Mamelodi Sundowns this season, with the squad that they have, with the continuity that they have, with the excitement as well, win the Champions League, they should be going all the way to try and win this tournament.
There were several seasons, of course, where Sundowns were overlapping with the Champions League. The Champions League used to be in the calendar year. They would have games in June, July in the Champions League, and so they didn't really get much rest. But there've been many seasons where there's been a decent off-season, and as you say, a slow start. Pitso Mosamani's tenure at this club, I remember many slow starts, although once they got momentum, Sundowns virtually unstoppable. So underway here, Johannes will give Ricardo Goss an early touch. He last played for Sundowns back in May 2022. He spent the last 4 seasons on loan, 3 of them at SuperSport United and 1 with Siwelela. This is young Mokoena, just putting a bit of early pressure on Shezi. And a already Sundowns making some inroads down on that left-hand side. Captain's armband today has been worn by Aubrey Modiba in the absence of Williams, Mokoena. There are a couple of seniors who are not available today. Still a bit of a long injury list at Sundowns. Keanu Cupido has had shoulder surgery. Artur Sales has had double surgeries, shoulder and knee. Damani's making his way back from injury as well. No Antonio van Wyk today either. Big talking point, of course, the form of Cassius Mamelodi. What a start he has made to his return in SA football, and it's just so difficult to fathom why he didn't clock it overseas. He didn't get opportunity initially. Maybe he's making a good point by coming back here.
Yeah, I think for him, you know, being away for so long and not really getting that game time that you needed, he made a good choice by coming back. But also, always been the question as to then he hasn't been playing competitive football for such a long time, so that's why maybe the inclusion of him has always been a substitution. But also, he just done so well ever since coming back. So it's always going to be the question as to then match fitness levels. And with the scorching hot weather, his second start in Mamelodi Sundowns colours, Sundowns fans are excited to see him back. But also now he plays a more of a different role, just behind a striker, more or less as a 10 and you know, as a second striker nonetheless. So with his football IQ that has grown with his maturity as well, I think he will adapt very well into this team.
It won't be long before I think we see him back in the national squad as well. Two caps he earned in that single season. He scored 16 goals in 20 starts for Mamelodi Sundowns. Came through the development ranks. What an impact he made. Now cutting off the flank, Munyenwa. First touch from Obas was a bit strong, but he recovers well. Almost immediately a real defensive rear guard from Arrows. As we mentioned earlier, haven't conceded in their last 7 games. It's an incredible run by Arrows. 4 games this season, 3 in the league. They've all been goalless draws. Haven't got a league goal yet. Shezi, the fullback, scored against Chiefs for their only goal of the season in the MTN8. He has an early ball inside, looking for Mailula. Just overcooked by Mokoena. Yeah,
overcooked indeed. I'm sure that with the tempo that they showed Mamelodi Sundowns midweek, they'll want to start with that. Just get an early lead so you can be able to control the tempo of the game. Also understanding as to then the weather as well. But your rest defense, you should be fine, because then you're playing against a team that will really trying to hurt you on the counter-attack.
Sundowns utterly dominant at home against Arrows. They've won the last 7 between these two on their own patch. 26 goals in the process. That is almost 4 per game. I'm not too sure we're going to have that sort of goal fest today, but it would be nice to see them reigning in either side. Now Koza. First start of the season for Aubrey Modiba, obviously given a little bit of time to recover from the World Cup.
Also, like, when you look at the injury that Modau had, it just one gets to one, then the overload that all those players had. Your Williams, your Mokoena, your Modiba, because of the national team, the FIFA Club World Cup. So there's been an overload, and thank God for Coach Cardoso as well, seeing that Basadin did so well during pre-season, been given opportunity to play. It feels like a new player altogether.
This is the replacement on the right-hand side. Zuko Mudenyelwa. I presume he'll be competing with Morena for a place on the right. They don't really have too many other options.
They don't indeed, and it's so nice as well to see Morena as well back on the bench with Kuliso being out. They need to find a solution on the right-hand side, and it is an opportunity for Mudenyelwa to be able to make that, you know, regular bet for him since Mudau was injured.
He got plenty of action at the beginning of last season when Mudau, of course, was having a little bit of a standoff with Sundowns. He didn't play for them in the first couple of weeks of the season. He was looking for a transfer. Now Mailula, inviting little ball in there. It'll be kept in play. All Sundowns in these early stages here in Attridgeville in the opening 5 minutes. Ricardo Gus has had a touch in Sundowns' goal, but that's about it. Keegan Johannes is another who we didn't see much of last season, but we expect to see a bit more of him in this campaign. New hairstyles helped him a lot, I think. Here's Mailula. Pinyawa, and a chance for Motiba. Good catch from Edward Maova.
Yeah, Maova needs to dominate that area, knowing that Motiba will be lurking there, especially from the crosses. With Motiba being on the pitch, Mamelodi Sundowns to be playing a little bit different because of the crosses will be there because it's very strong aerially.
Motiba played in France in the top flight there, played for Bafana. Bafana, of course, it's had a whole pile of injuries since arriving at Sundowns. He's only started 2 games. His last and only goal for Sundowns was against Siwelele, against Ricardo Goss in December last year. So he'll be chomping at the bit, I fancy, today to make an impact here. Remember, #1 striker Leon just getting a little bit of a break today, and he's on the bench in case they need him. Johannes. Oops, a little miscommunication. I think he's kept that in play. Malibongwe Khoza is a product of the academy at Mamelodi Sundowns. Always good to see home-produced footballers breaking through into the first team. Modiba, that's a bit shy. A late challenge. And what's Mr. Kistor going to do here? That was Shezi with the tackle. I think he knows he was wrong and apologizes, and I think he's going to get a little leniency there from the referee.
Yeah, he will get the leniency there. A little bit late from Shezi. That foul being on Mokoena, and with Mamelodi Sundowns maybe having an extra man aerially that can be devastating for that Arrows defense with this Motiba. And you rightfully said earlier on, the competition is very stiff. Up front there with Leon, we know that he's a pouch, he's a goal scorer. With Cassius Mailula being back again, Motiba rather has to some sort of make an impact into this game.
Yeah, I think we're going to struggle today with Modiba and Motiba. Here is Modiba to take the free kick with that trusty old left foot. It's a good hanging one. Johannes got a touch to it. Still bouncing around. I seemed to hesitate a second or two. I thought perhaps the whistle had gone from the referee. Now, that's a foul from Allende. Atlanta Zwane, the victim.
I could see Zwane was did beat Allende for a pace. Allende they're making sure that it doesn't allow the transition to continue, just taking one for the team.
Except he didn't get one, which is unusual, but Mr. Kistor's obviously in a good mood early on. Now, play on here. No, foul in favour of Gasa from Arrows, the young 20-year-old. It's difficult to explain to you, just looking at the pictures, just how hot it is out there. It's not a December scorcher, but for this time of the year, it really feels very hot. And I don't think people are used to it after, I mean, it was freezing cold just a week ago.
Yes, it was freezing cold just a week ago. Even on Wednesday when we were doing the Sundowns game, once the sun set, it started to be a little bit cold. But today we're lucky to have this hot weather, but I feel sorry for the players because then you still have to do the duties and run and making sure that you do what you're supposed to do.
Ricardo Goss, if you look at the team sheets this season for Sundowns, definitely now the #2 that he's come back on loan from Siwelele. Played 30 games for Siwelele last season. He was consistent with SuperSport United as well in the 3 seasons prior to that. Sitole takes it away. He's looking for a bit of running down that left-hand side. There's no way through.
And I guess also with this rotation system that Coach Cardozo has implemented early on into the season, gives the likes of Ricardo Goss an opportunity to be able to stand their authority, because it's a very difficult position to be able to do rotation, especially knowing that how good Williams is, but he needs to have some sort of an impact at his goals.
And if he's using this tournament to say, okay, well, cup tournaments we'll play the reserve keepers, it's a good 2-week break for Ronwen Williams. Yep. And you wonder whether it's a good opportunity just to send him off on holiday with his family for a week or so, you know. Although there are league fixtures, I might remind you, in midweek. In fact, Sundowns are away at Amazulu, which is going to be a tough one. Now, chance for Motiba. Oh, what a save! Well, he was looking to place that one. Just that split second allowing Maova to make an excellent stop. Goalkeeper's injured in the process. They have won the free kick, Arrows on the edge of the area. But what a chance for Lebo Motiba.
What a chance indeed. It just fell for him very nicely. I thought also he wasn't in control, full control of the ball. Once it landed there, this Mamelodi Sundowns trying to play in. Mukwena again getting involved. Look at Cassius, they're committing to that. But the Lebo they could have done better. I think he didn't sort out his foot a little bit quicker. Because look at his first touch there.
Yes.
He controls
too
it.
Much.
Yeah, it was too much. And then again, you know, with the Maova making himself big, made a brilliant save.
Yes, we must credit the keeper, of course, for coming out and giving Motiba no chance. It's been a bit of a Namibian festival this weekend with that fabulous goal from Dion Hotto yesterday.
Yeah.
Giving Pirates the win at Sekhukhune United. Now let's have a look at it again. Also see where Maova might have got injured.
You can see here Maova, he was forced to use his legs. I think it's an hamstring. They pulled an hamstring because he had to stretch himself and use his feet, because then you could see even from the different angle that he moved a little bit first until he changed a little bit of a movement to try and, you know, put pressure on this man here. Motiba could have done better. He knows that's an early opportunity that would settle the things for Mamelodi Sundowns, but this man here that still got injured made a great save. He
got up and he's gone down again. I think by all indications that might be the end of the game for the man from Ochivarongo. Banjwa is the backup goalkeeper today, former SuperSport United man. Well, it's a blow that they certainly would not have expected, and it will change plans a little bit. Kasani Banjwa played after SuperSport United for Swallows. 13 games last season for Arrows. They used 4 goalkeepers in the last campaign. Looks like they might have to, in these early stages, already be on their second. Well, he's trying to stay on here. Banjwa is putting the gloves on. Mailuna's just pointing out it's really taking a long time. He does have a good point there, but it is the goalkeeper.
It is the goalkeeper, and that he needs to be treated on the pitch. And it will be a big loss for Arrows if Maova has to be substituted because of his height, his build. He was also going to be required to make sure that that 16 bots area he manages very well, especially with Motiba being on the pitch. But Banjwa will probably get the same instructions if he has to come in. He needs to be ready.
Now, do you think they're just delaying it a little bit to freshen Banjwa up, or is Maova really trying his very best to stay in this game? The longer he needs treatment, the more obvious it is that he's certainly got to go off.
Yeah, and with an hamstring, as a goalkeeper, you need to be moving a little bit in and around that box as well. With goal kicks, you need to be able to distribute as well. You can see that's trying to stay on the pitch. It's going to be very difficult to, I think, also with the physicians and the doctors as well, just to give that call.
Well, the strapping is there, but the debate continues with the medical staff. Nobody looks convinced. Maova. Yeah, I think Maova's going. The referee is signaling make the change. So we are going to see the end of the Namibian in today's encounter. What a blow that is for him, and it's not an easy injury to get over either. It could be a couple of weeks, which might deny him a chance, certainly in next week's second leg. And if they get to the final, he'll be bitterly disappointed if he misses out on that one.
Exactly, and you look at this, so how he got it. Of course he made a save, of course he kept the team alive. But it's just one of those injuries that normally we don't see them from the goalkeepers. But he had to put his body on the line to make sure that the team stays safe.
This is a lengthy delay. And we're waiting now for Banjwa to come on, and The referee is now going across to talk to Miguel Cardoso, who I think is quite right in suggesting this has taken a little bit too long. Banjo should be coming on now. Let's break the momentum a little bit, although looks like Banjo might have gone off to the change room now, so this just makes it an even lengthier delay. Mahova will be stretched off. Played every minute this season so far for Arrows, very much the #1 now at the start of this campaign. Jacob Monkasi is the goalkeeper coach. I wonder what Mbanjwa left behind in the change room. He's emerged from the tunnel now again.
He has, and it's always, for me, it's always the case when it comes to goalkeepers, especially second choice. When you know that you're second choice into the lineup, you really hardly be ready whenever you need it. So it's always the type of delays that can be expected. But for Mbanjwa as well, he needs to focus whenever he gets onto the pitch. He needs to make sure that keep that clean sheet going.
Right, we are going to have the change now. All wishing him good luck. Ashley Makanya there. He's taking his time, Mbanjwa. 30-year-old now. And on he comes. So we can expect a fair amount of time added on at the end of this half. Mutiba was the man who had the opportunity. Mahova made the save, hurt his hamstring in the process. And now Pakisani Mbanjwa on in his place. Last outing for him, in fact, was against Mamelodi Sundowns in the league at the beginning of March. It was a 2-1 win here in the nation's capital for Sundowns against Arrows. So play resumes with Khoza. Arrows one man down in terms of potential changes later on in the game. They could only use another 4 subs. Mokoena loses out. This is the pace that they were hoping for from Sithole. Zwane in the middle. A new signing from Gallants. Shezi playing the 1-2, that's nicely done. And the press from Sundowns means it's tough to get out. But they've kept the ball. This is Sithole. In the end, Sundowns do their job, take the ball away.
I've seen also with Coach Mangoba last season, he used to use Sithole mostly as a sub. Very quick, very skillful with his left foot. And right now you can see he's playing within the diamond of that 3, making sure that they don't allow Mamelodi Sundowns to have more of the ball. But he's the player, whenever they're in transition, they will try and get the ball too, especially with him and Dion up front.
Here's Keegan Johannes, Allende in support. We'll switch over to Modiba on this left-hand side. Shezi, the defender, a little back heel here in search of the young 19-year-old Mokoena. His 3rd start, by the way. Little combination with Mailula. Early cross! Lovely ball for Modiba. He's looking for the glancing header. Got it a little bit full.
Yeah, beautiful cross there. Nice little play within his left-hand side with Modiba, Mokoena. Look at that 1-2. And also what's good as well is Keisha has well been able to play that ball a bit early, but it's just that for Mutiba, they was off target. They just needed to redirect the ball.
Now a little pressure on Mbanjwa almost forces an opportunity in the area. Foul by Aubrey Modiba. Young Gasa playing up front as well. Single goal last season in March against Stellenbosch. Now Gasa again. Is that offside? Yes. Oh, and he misses it as well. I was doing the maths. Teko, he hasn't scored, said Dion, in the last 339 minutes before kickoff, which is just over 5 hours of football. Last goal towards the end of the last season for the league's leading goal scorer.
I think it's also the pressure that comes with just being a top goal scorer into the next season. You know, there's so much expected of you. And if you remember, so last season he started like a house on fire. So he sets the tone very nicely for himself to be able to go on. And this season we've seen he's struggling a little bit, but that's the pressure that he needs to get over with, especially mentally, and be able to play the game and make sure that he gets those goals for Golden Arrows.
Now Satoli steals it away from Johannes, who still can't stop him. Gasa. Clavini in the middle, he's wearing the captain's armband now. Good turn here on the flank from Maluleke. Good to see Batusi Obas back. He was in the Nations Cup squad and then of course played very little after that for Sundowns, and naturally a lack of game time cost him an opportunity to go to the World Cup. It was Jaden Adams who took over in the middle there.
He did. He had a brilliant second half of the season. That is the late Jaden. And for Obas as well, there's always been a tough competition in that midfield, especially knowing that you don't just defend in that role. You need to be able to help the team play, and those are the attributes as well that really sometimes lacks, but he has to improve, especially now with the absence of Tebo Mokoena.
Allende. Little man always protects the ball so well, despite his lack of power and physical strength. Apparent lack of power and physical strength. He certainly knows how to shield the ball well. That's not the first time we've seen a pass out onto the left. Early ball from Modiba, just testing the new goalkeeper. That'll be a confidence booster for Mbanjwa. Ball taken straight back by Sundowns. Obas, Mailula looking to turn. Good tackle from Zwane. And they'll get the free kick arrows. I suppose the longer they can hold out, the happier they'll be with that home leg to come next weekend.
I guess the longer it goes like this, they benefit more, unlike the pressure that Mamelodi Sundowns have, especially in this game, in this heat. They need to make sure that they got into the score sheet. They'll be quicker to control and maybe, you know, look for the second and third one.
Now Obas. He was back in the lineup. Obas against Chiefs last weekend. First time after 26 matches to be in the starting lineup for Sundowns. Long absence. Here's Johannes. Mailula looking for the return ball. One inside, Clamini clears, and the turn from Sitole. Nice pace about him. Look how he carves his way through now. Needs a good pass. This is opportunity for Gasa, and there was enough defensive attention there just to push it away. It'll be a goal kick. Now, chance for us to just find out a little update about the goalkeeper. Let's just have a look at the slow-mo, and then we'll go to Lwazi and find out what's happened with Malva.
Yeah, I guess with the Sitole, you could just see how dangerous he is whenever he carries the ball. He's the player that we spoke about earlier, so then he'll be the person that really drives them. It's unfortunate for Gasa here with all the distraction that Modiba and Koza had for him to be able to make sure that they don't get that ball on target.
Right, Lwazi, what's the story with Malva?
Thank you very much to our commentators. We can confirm that Edward Maova, the reason for him being brought off is that he had a fair bit of discomfort with the knee. So perhaps not as bad as we thought it might have been. However, we did see just how uncomfortable he was, and of course that bit of strapping that he received having gone down. So it is a discomfort with the knee, and of course that has meant Takazani Mbandwa has had to come on.
Thanks, Lwazi. Well, luckily you and I are not doctors, because we thought it was a hamstring.
We thought it was a hamstring because the first thing that we saw as he grabbed his hamstring after falling down, so that's what we thought.
Misdiagnosis if you come to Dr. Modise for your next treatment. Mokoena, Koza. Just past the midway point here in the first half, and Sundowns with some opportunity, plenty of possession. Can they now make or break the deadlock?
You can see it with the difference of Matiba being on the pitch. There's a lot of crosses now that we've seen from Mamelodi Sundowns. Normally they play a team that will really try and break you down.
Mailula again. He has a ball for Matiba. He was a little bit static. That's a free corner. Shezi puts his hand up to apologise. Maybe a bit of panic.
Yes, the coaches will tell you it's always easier to, or rather better to play safe. But you can see he was trying to hit the ball back to Mbandwa. Miscommunication between the two.
Allende to take it. So this will be a test for Mbandwa early on. Edge of the area stuff. Nicely done by Allende. He says it hit him on the shoulder, but handball, says Mr. Kisto. Yellow card as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, definitely slid in with his hand. This will give us a better look. Yeah.
But you know what, with the handball situation, it always changes, because they say when you're already on the floor, when the ball hits your hand, especially inside the box, because you can't move your hand, it's not a handball, it's not a penalty, but yet everywhere in the pitch, and then you're getting booked.
I also wonder on that one, did it maybe hit the chest first and then onto the hand? So it's also, you get those knee onto hand, it's also not a handball.
Yeah.
Maybe someone more learned can tell us on Monday in extra time. Mailula nice and busy. I haven't really mentioned today a start as well for Sihanda Ndlovu, signed from Arrows. So this is his first start for Mamelodi Sundowns. Here he is against his old team. Steve Compello, who's on the Sundowns bench, was the man who gave him his first start at Arrows, and absolutely raved about Ndlovu, then known as Mtanti. That's a nice strength from Mabaso, the defender. There's the aforementioned former Arrows coach. He had a couple of spells with Arrows. You'll know a lot of these players intimately. They've had quite a change in lineup. You mentioned Coach Mangobo Mniti and the way he changed the team, and a lot of those stalwarts, Sibia and Ndwandwe, no longer getting as much game time as they used to in Arrows colours.
We spoke to Coach Mangobo when he started at Golden Arrows last season. He spoke about all the young players, from, how Golden Arrows used to recruit players, and he spoke about it. Then come end of the season, there's going to be few players that the country will be speaking of, and there it is. And though we had to make that move, we saw Cisse as well.
He's gone to Belgium, yes.
Yeah. So they did have important players, and in today's lineup as well, the captain Gianni, who's been one of their best players last season, is not in the lineup.
There was also Komada, the West African defender, who's gone further north. Done a bit of business. Golden Arrows transfer window, of course, still open. Not long though for the clubs left. Not much time left to make the changes. Now Mokoena gets the shot in. It's on target, but regulation practice really for keeper Mbanjwa. Clearance from Dlamini. Under a bit of pressure, it'll be Sundowns throw-in. Dlamini formerly with Amatax before he went to Arrows, so he'll know this city and its weather patterns well. National First Division, the Motsepe Foundation Championship kicking off this weekend. Now Modiba, Mokoena, these two sides have met in the MTN8 semi-final before 5 years ago. Sundowns won that tie over 2 legs and then went on to win the trophy. They one and only one in the last 18 years. It was a 1-1 draw in the first leg in Durban, 3-0 in the return leg in Pretoria, and then the trophy for Sundowns on penalties. And we're looking for all sorts of good omens. Nyawa coming off the wing. Johannes wants the ball from Khoza. Now Ndlovu. Has been the busiest of the lot for Sundowns, and then errant pass from Obas. He'll be disappointed with that.
Especially after such a good rotation. It's always going to be very difficult, because if you look at the discipline that Karanga Golden Arrows have when they're not in possession of the ball, they're always going to make it difficult for Mamelodi Sundowns to penetrate through that midfield, but the ball out wide for Mamelodi Sundowns needs to be a little bit quicker.
Now Shezi gets pinged for taking too long with a throw-in, and actually his teammate Mabasa was screaming at him, throw it in, realizing the rules, which Shezi obviously forgot. Needs a turnover here now. Chance for Motiba. Mbanjwa, the follow-up is wide. Flags up. It's a corner kick, in fact, for Mamelodi Sundowns.
You can see just how Motiba makes his present felt inside that box, makes Golden Arrows defense a little bit of uncomfortability. Look at Mbanjwa there, being unable to really hold on to that ball, but a really good tackle as well. Could see as well Cassius was lurking from that rebound.
Trying to see the defender. I think it was Agnikoi, the new signing, the young Ivorian who was at Gallants last season. Here's the corner. This is Khoza at the back post. Mokoena. Now pings it, looking for Aubrey Modiba, who's switched over onto the right wing. Lost his compass a little bit. Too much shown by Zwane, and that's not a good tackle either. Now the crowd on the far side quite rightly are suggesting to the referee that surely has got to be a booking.
You can see that lunge there from...
Is it what saves him, the fact he didn't make any contact?
Maybe it saves him, because also the referee wasn't far off from that incident as well.
Now Allende. Mokoena. There's Mailula. Mokoena shot rebounds perfectly here for Marcelo Allende. They can start the build-up once more. Sundowns against AmaZulu next in the league in midweek, and Golden Arrows have got a home game as well on Wednesday against Stellenbosch. I'm sure those respective coaches will be watching carefully. Here comes Sitole. Good overlapping here for Maluleke, the left back. Momentum lost on that one as Swane plays it back.
I think they had a great opportunity there because Mamelodi Sundowns' defense wasn't really formatted very well. They could have used that opportunity, but once again, once they start rotating the ball, they allow Mamelodi Sundowns to reform. It becomes very difficult, and those are transitions that Coach Peter spoke about. They need to actually use them whenever they have the chance.
Now held up a little bit by Gasa. Motiba with the challenge. Referee says play on. Here is Allende. They recovered well. Here comes Sitole again. Didn't get the 1-2 he was looking for. Clearance from Khoza. It's a good one. Finds Mokoena. First touch gets away from him. That's nicely done by Agnikoi. Slotted in on his debut for Arrows. Sedi Dion now against Gors. That's a great goal. That's a great goal from Sedi Dion. 5 hours without finding the back of the net. But Arrows have got a huge, all-important away goal here. Excellent timing of the run. And what a finish from Sedi Dion.
What a finish indeed. We spoke about the transition that they here to play. Look at the fine ball being played here by Shozi. Look at that. If you look at the wider shot, you'll see that Gors tried to go in first, try to take the ball. Then again, he went back, and I think that actually bought a little bit of a second for Dion to be able to make that, but also a very clinical finish from the top goal scorer of last season.
Just guided with perfection, just a little bit of an angle. He sweeps it through the legs, and Ricardo Gosta's return to goal for Mamelodi Sundowns sees him concede, and Sedi Dion's got a bit of a message there for the fans. Well, he's just winding it up a little bit here. But that could be massive for Arrows. Remember, in the case of a draw, away goal rule is in effect. Now, even if Sundowns were to score twice and maybe take this game 2-1, it would mean that Arrows in the second leg would only need to win 1-0.
1-0, yeah.
Yeah, they're looking for number 2, Sitole. Just a little speed wobble there, and a handball as well. Maybe got a little greedy there, Sitole, because Dion was in a bit of space on the right.
He was. He should have played the ball a bit earlier. And you can see also Mamelodi Sundowns' defense, they were actually looking at their own goalpost, so that's an opportunity for a midfield to be able to slot the ball in, because they're not rightfully positioned to be able to actually try and defend the ball.
Arrows haven't been to the final since 2009 when they won the tournament. Their one and only piece of major silverware. That 6-0 win over Ajax Cape Town at the Orlando Stadium, the biggest scoreline in a cup final in South Africa. Here's Aubrey Modiba. It was the Modiba 1-2.
Yeah, that 1-2, you could see that Aubrey wanted to bring the ball to his strongest foot.
Need now Sundowns, if they are to make things more comfortable for them in Durban, to get not only 1 or 2 but possibly 3 or 4 goals, because this Arrows side very tough to break down. Last player to score against Arrows, Sandile Mtetwa of AmaZulu, on the 6th of May. It was a 1-1 draw. Big centre-back. Presumably from a set piece. Obas, Glovo, back again. 5 minutes to half-time, but we do expect quite a bit of time to be added on at the end of this first half. Allende again switches to Aubrey Modiba, inviting ball, no one on that penalty spot. Modiba had drawn the defenders away. It was actually, if Mailula was a bit more switched on,
yeah,
there was plenty of space for him.
Exactly, that's where he was supposed to be, and I think he was dragged because he wanted to be involved in the play on the right-hand side. By the time the ball gets to the left, because it was switched, he was late to be able to get into that position. He needs to manage his spaces as to then when does he get involved, when he doesn't.
Nice and busy. Allende, edge of the area. Mailula. Yellow was there as well. Arrows desperately looking to hold on to possession. And maybe here another counter-attack opportunity. Sitoli had gone offside, so Makwele had to just hold on to the ball. Now Zwane, does like going in a different direction, doesn't he? Shazy went on the run. Well, they've knocked this ball into touch. There's treatment needed for Sedi Dion. Now they've lost one player already to injury. Hopefully this is not serious. Our goal scorer, the boot is off, thumping the ground in frustration. Oh yes, it's the old classic Marks Mapanyani stand on the toes story, that.
They're always painful ones, especially with the type of boots that we're exposed to as footballers this late.
Shouldn't be too serious for Sedi Dion. This is how he put arrows in the knee just a few minutes ago. One touch. It's a superb goal. Perfectly weighted ball as well. I think you've got to give, you know, that you get an assist credit, but it's almost like you should get half a goal for that pass.
Yeah, that was a brilliant ball being played, and also with a little bit of a spin as well, it allows the ball to get into Dion's.
Who's getting a yellow here? It was Keegan Johannes with that foul on Dion. Allende's already been booked for that handball, and now Keegan Johannes will get a yellow card. Two Cape Townians in discussion there, but there's no hometown empathy from the referee. A couple of the Chiefs fans have aligned themselves with Arrows. Remember Arrows beating Chiefs in the quarter-final. Now taken away by Obas, looking for the equaliser before the break. This is Mokoena. Little chip up there. Good strong header away from Agnikoi. Pace again on the flank. This time Mokoena. A little bit too long for Dion. Koza, Mokoena drags it back here. Mailula with back to goal, shows his skills. Aubrey Modiba shanked that a little bit, gets another chance. But this is a chance maybe for Maluleke. Thought about a little sprint and then decided to stay back in position. Interesting to see now how much time is going to be added on after that lengthy stoppage for the injury to goalkeeper Maova. We hear from the side of the pitch, it'll be 7 minutes. There's Mokoena along the ground this time. The board's up. There it is, confirmation. 7 minutes added on. Here is Aubrey Modiba. Little chip in there. He's very quickly winning possession back. Now, chance for Mokoena. That's a great shot and an equally good save.
That's a great shot from Mokoena indeed. Used the right technique, used his laces, so the angle also allowed him. Great passage of play from him. Look at also the control was close by. It was on target. A great save there from Banjo.
Top goal scorer in the DSTV Diski Challenge last season.
Yeah.
Player of the competition as well. Allende. Here's Mokoena again. This time across. Not cleared. Now it is. Not very far though. I like this Ivorian defender at the back, Agniko. He's just calm.
It's very calm on the ball.
Took his time about clearing that properly.
Yeah. Look at that save from Banjo. Top corner they save. Very good for the youngster to get into the shooting range position. We've seen him a couple of games as well. He hasn't really got maybe getting to target, but he is a player that really likes to take those type of shots. But a great confidence booster for him, get into those right areas.
The keeper will be pleased with himself as well. Any nerves he might have had coming on as a sub evaporated with that save. Not as big a crowd today at Atteridgeville as I expected for a cup semi-final.
Sundowns fans really don't attend the stadium as much as they do at Loftus. I don't know why. Maybe because of the easy access to Loftus that it is difficult to get here. But whenever there's a big fixture here, you play Kaizer Chiefs, you play Orlando Pirates, yes, you see a number of those. But we've seen also on Wednesday there was enough support for the team, maybe because of it is at Loftus Stadium.
If you go back in history, this is actually the territory of the old Bantu Callies, or Pretoria Callies as they were later known. There was always the rivalry between Atteridgeville, which was Callies, and Mamelodi, which was Sundowns. And Atteridgeville's on the one side of the city, and Mamelodi's right on the other side. So maybe I don't think that really exists much anymore, but certainly in the 1980s and 90s, that was still something of a reason why Sundowns never played here as a home ground. It was only when HM Pitchy was no longer available. Yeah, too long. Corner. I like these new rules. Banjo caught out. Is this going to be to their detriment? Will they be punished for a lack of concentration from the goalkeeper? Now the referee is going to go and have a little chat here, I think, with Allende. Just wanted to see where the ball is on that corner flag. It's just got to touch a little bit of the paint. Good punch from Banjwa. He was under pressure there from Khoza. He'll get the free kick. And he'll take some time here as well. Just take a little of the sting out and try and get some arrows to half-time in the lead.
Yeah, it becomes important to go to the half-time with the lead. These are the very critical stages of the game to concede. But look at himself there, really fixed his eyes on the ball. A good touch indeed, because Khoza was looking at the back.
And Khoza is a big unit, certainly the tallest man in the Sundowns lineup. Nice first touch from Mokoena, but short on the pass though, taken away by Dlamini. Now Sitoli teasing. He's got good skill, but there were two players there taken away from him in the end. That certainly is not a penalty. Sitoli, the only player trying to claim one. Mokoena for Mutiba. Now he turns. And Glovo out wide, offside. Flag went up immediately.
Also with Mamelodi Sundowns to look at the front three as well. A good call there from the referee. Look at the front three as well. You don't have the Matthews, you don't have the Leon, so there's no speed going forward. So then you have to play both of the balls on the feet. And here, this man here, Ndlovu, we know that is very trickery on his feet. Lebu wants to hold on to the ball. Maybe in the second half, maybe there might be a little bit of those type of changes if Sundowns really want to get back into the game, because there is space, there is gaps just behind Kulenaro's defense, but they need a little bit of speed.
Young defender Mabaso, originally from Pietermaritzburg, 22-year-old who has a very bright future. Played a lot of football last season, his first full season in the top flight. There's the count again from the referee, just warning Arrows, you've got to get on with it. As soon as the ball is out of play. Maluleke has stolen a lot of ground there. Zwane played it straight into touch. A little bizarre. We're coming up for 6 minutes now of stoppage time. Just over a minute to go here before these two teams break, and Arrows will be desperate to hold on to this lead before or to take it into the half-time break. Obas, Motiba, Mailula just got stuck a little bit there. There was a foul, trailing leg from Cassius Mailula.
I've seen Cassius as well. He's been struggling with those in this game. The ball just gets stuck into his feet. Maybe it comes back to what Jimmy said a little bit earlier on, because the grass is thick. Maybe it wasn't wet enough, so that's why it's probably struggling. You can see also after losing the ball, trying to counter press. He needs to fix that in the second half because he gets into the right areas.
This Teko is one of the better pitches at the moment.
Yeah.
The country is struggling. Moses Mabhida is supposed to be open on Wednesday for Richards Bay against Kaizer Chiefs. The word is it's not going to happen there because the pitch is not up to standard. It's not up to standard at Peter Mokaba. It's not up to standard in Gqeberha and at the Buffalo City Stadium. The municipalities need to pull a bit of finger. So, Pitso Tlatla has his side in the lead. Ricardo Goss beaten by that excellent finish from Masedi Dion. Who would have thought this at halftime? Arrows leading.
Yeah, Arrows leading. They spoke about it. So the team that's going to suffer without the ball, but in transition they look dangerous. This man made a brilliant save after coming on from the Mkwena shot, but Golden Arrows going to the halftime rather with the comfortable lead that they needed.
A little bit of running repairs here in the halftime break. I'm sure there'll be some harsh.
So this man here with a little bit of speed that he has, being able to break through the line, but also Leon as well, because you could see that this is a game also that wants to be able to play on the fit. Yes, Lebo Mtiba, very strong aerially, but it forces Mamelodi Sundowns to play a little more different. But these players here, they've got the responsibility to bring back Mamelodi Sundowns back into the game.
So Lebo Mutiba's opportunity to lead the line lasts all of 45 minutes. He had one or two chances, one very early on where Malva injured himself, but they're going to the tried and tested Brian Leon to come on. It'll be an opportunity for the Colombian to get himself onto the score sheet again already this season. And of course Tashik Matthews continues this incredible run of consecutive appearances for Mamelodi Sundowns. He has been an absolute stalwart, not only in the starting lineup, but also as a substitute over the last couple of seasons. This is the 69th successive appearance in a match for Mamelodi Sundowns for Tashik Matthews, either in the starting lineup or off the bench, as is the case here. Second half underway. Return leg to come next weekend down on the coast. It'll be played on the 30th. Sundowns away, looking to get into the final. Oh, now what's the ref going to do here? Obas into the book for that lunging challenge. 3 players now from Sundowns have been booked.
Yeah, I think with him, he just got let down by that first touch that he really exposed the ball. From there on, he just reacted with that lunge, and of course, very deservingly so. It starts showing in the midfield, but he also is a player as well that he really likes playing on the edge. So let's see if then he can play with the yellow card, especially in that midfield where he has to be, defending very well and protecting that back four.
A return match, by the way, between these two sides will be in Mlazi next Sunday, 3 p.m. kickoff. The return match between Pirates and Sekhukhune is next Saturday in Soweto. Pirates, of course, 1 goal to the good, looking to get into the final, to retain that trophy which they've won for the last 4 successive seasons. This, by the way, is the 6th season in a row that Sundowns are in the semi-finals of this competition. Twice in the previous 5 years they've made it through to the final, winners in 21 and runners-up in 2023, but 3 of those 5 times they've been knocked out in the semis, and they are under the cosh here. There's still plenty of time left in this tie, but those kind of mistakes might well cost them. Johannes does get the free kick, it must be said.
Yeah, they need to be very, very cautious as to seeing as and how Culinarios are very deadly in those counters, but also need to lift up the game a little bit, the pace a little bit. And maybe those 2 players that brought on with Leon and Matthews will inject some sort of energy going forward, because they need to get that equalizer as soon as possible.
It's a big responsibility for Matthews and Leon. They obviously know the game well enough to know why they've been brought on here at half-time, what the situation is and what they need to do. Banjwa in goal, a product of the Bidvest Wits Academy. Much for Ricardo Goss to do in this game, but he's had to pick the ball out of the net once already. Tulyenwa. Zane takes it over there from Sitoli, wants it back again, and now Sitoli runs at the defence. Always so exciting. With a no-look pass that's straight at Matthews. Matthews again, combination with Mailula. Big clearance coming from Maluleke, the left back. Still in possession, Aubrey Modiba, Allende. Space on the right. Now the crowd want more action here from Mamelodi Sundowns. Leon just trying to hold it up, but he's getting special attention here from the Arrows defenders, and he has another counter-attack. Gasa this time, the 20-year-old, streaking down. Sedi Dion is on the right. Little pass in for Sitoli, and the communication there perhaps breaking down between those two.
I can see Gasa there maybe ran out of steam. There was not enough support, so he waited for that, and the pass in Australia, there was also a letdown for them in terms of that attack. But Mamelodi Sundowns again are just giving away position cheaply. They need to get back into controlling the tempo. They need to involve Allende a little bit more. And once they play organized football, it's easy for them to start creating opportunities from there.
Maluleke has got to be careful with Globo biting at his heels. Came off the chest of the new Sundowns man, so it's going to be a throw-in for Arrows. Chance to clear their lines. On Wednesday, of course, that Sundowns set a new record for unbeaten home matches in the league. But yeah, they trail at home in the cup. Matthews, he was offside. Flag was up very quickly.
Good call from the linesman. Find Matthews. You also can see as well, Mamelodi Sundowns still trying to go and try and penetrate through the middle, where Arrows made sure that it stays a little bit tight, forces Mamelodi Sundowns to have those overturns, and then therefore they break from that. Maybe from out wide, where Mdunyelo gets so much space and time, he needs to be able to be decisive as to then what is it that he does with the ball, because he's one of the fullbacks that gets more of the ball and higher up the pitch.
Leon. Just eludes Mamelodi there, but the pace of Matthews is a threat. Last home game they lost, Mamelodi Sundowns, was against Kaizer Chiefs in the Nedbank Cup last year, 2025. They also lost in this competition to Stellenbosch at home. Ricardo Goss's last game was a home loss to Stellenbosch in the league, 3-0 that day. Ashley Dupree scored a double. This is Gassa! Not a bad little effort.
Not a bad effort indeed, especially when you play on left side as a winger. You always want to get to your strongest foot, and he did very well there. Because you can see Johannes takes some time to be able to cover that. Look at that. Once the winger comes in with the ball with that pace, always going to be very difficult to stop.
Now back with the live action with Ndlovu teasing. Can he get to the byline? What's the referee say here? Goal kick it's going to be. Strong challenge from Maluleke.
They know him very well. It's always difficult to play your former teammates because you trained with them for so long. They know all their tricks. It's going to be very difficult for Ndlovu to find new tricks against his old teammates.
Maluleke only started 3 matches last season, but he's made this left-back position his own since the beginning of this campaign. Was in the Motsepe Foundation Championship with Kruger United and Marumo Gallants before joining Arrows at the beginning of last season. Obas. Now Causa pushing forward. Got that opening goal against Gallants in midweek. Kulise standing by to be thrown into the fray. And here he'll be coming on for Obas, so they're going to be looking to be a bit more attacking now.
Obviously, you can see the organizational play. It's struggling a little bit in the second half. Maybe you don't need a defensive midfielder.
Here's Dion. Spread out wide. Gassa's going to have to stretch to keep it in play. Again, an opportunity there for Arrows on the counter that they don't take.
Every time they're on the 10, on the break, they look so dangerous. But they need to get that cushion, that second goal that they need, but they only can get it through counter.
Now over the head of Leon. Maluleke with a good touch. Using his strength, getting ahead of Ndlovu. Obas, Causa pushing forward. Everybody now except for Ricardo Goss is inside the Arrows half. Matthews. Aubrey Modiba, great ball, but offside. And Ndlovu does put the ball in the net against his old club, but that's not counting.
That's the type of movements that they need. A little bit more mobile.
Yeah, tight, but off.
Yeah.
Obas is off, Kulise going on, and Nuno Santos is going to be coming on as well. And Mailula will go off. That's 4 changes from Mamelodi Sundowns, 10 minutes into the second half. Coach realizes now they need to get themselves back into this game before they start worrying about the second leg.
Indeed, you can see also from the substitution that they've made all creative people, all creative players on the pitch. They want to really get on control and create chances because they haven't really created chances, to be fair, in this game.
Zwane does well there to protect the ball. He's had a good game, sometimes going a little bit backward when he could go forward, but very strong in the midfield is Ntlantla Zwane. He was 26 last week. Real talent for Arrows. Maybe one of those that the bigger clubs have been looking at over the last couple of years. Turnover. Here come Mamelodi Sundowns now. Nuno Santos gets his first touch. Dunyelwa on this right-hand side. Over a little hasty. Coach trying to encourage the pair there. That 1-2 is nowhere near working. Now, is this going to be one-way traffic the entire second half?
That's why it can give Golden an opportunity as well, because with all the players that have been pushed into their own half, whenever they do have the ball, they need to use that very well in terms of that break, especially using Dio.
Over the head of Nuno Santos. This is Mabaso. Matthews, Kulise, Modiba off the wing, Santos, out wide here, Dunyelwa. Maluleke putting in a very good defensive shift. There's no left foot there for the right back, and then the Global gives possession away. Not had the best of games against his old club.
Yeah, it's always difficult to play against your former club. It needs to be more calm on the ball.
Artur Sales in the corner there. Double operation on the road back to recovery. Little afternoon off for Ron Williams. Grant Kakano also given a rest. 5 changes from the midweek side that beat Gallants at Loftus. Kulise now in his 9th season with Mamelodi Sundowns. Just the other day he was a teenage talent. He's 30 now, Teko. Time flies.
Time flies indeed.
Dunyelwa. Allende. Cues up Modiba. Right. A lot more difficult for Modiba than perhaps it was for Allende.
It was indeed. We've known Allende taking up those positions. I thought he was going to put it on his left, but a good ball being played to Modiba. Maybe there Modiba needs an extra touch. You can be able to play and find Leon inside the box. But yet again, when you're trailing, you know, you want to be hasty and making those type of decisions.
Here's the reaction from the boss man. And a frustrating afternoon for everyone involved, or everyone connected with Mamelodi Sundowns. Here is Modiba now. Another corner. It took quite long to deliver that corner. Is the referee counting? Allende, header! Bajwa makes the save. Keegan Johannes perhaps got in the way of Leon.
Yeah, got in the way indeed. They didn't communicate a little bit better, but also to be fair, it's just there in front of Johannes. Without communication, it becomes very difficult, but you can see the frustrations there from Leon.
Keegan Johannes had every right to go for goal there.
Yeah.
Tapelo Moreno will be coming on shortly for Ndlovu. They're going to have another effort down the right-hand side with a lot of pace with Tapelo Moreno. Arrow is also going to be making a double change. Tapelo Moreno's first involvement with the team this season. Last time we saw him involved was against Kaizer Chiefs in early May. Here comes Gasa now. Teasing his way into the area. Can he get past Johannes? Looking for Dion. Goal kick it's going to be.
See how dangerous they look whenever they go forward. Gasa gets involved this time around, finding space on this left-hand side, committing Johannes, who's a centre-back, when Dunyela was out of position, but look at how Dion makes himself available inside the box. Very difficult header for him, but he did get the last touch.
A double dose of Khumalo coming on for Arrows. Thokozani and Philani Khumalo are the two subs. Looks as if Sitoli is off, and Isedi Dion, the other, coming off. He looks to be struggling a little bit with a hamstring. He was stretching at some stage of this game. And does that signal a bit more of a defensive approach?
Maybe a defensive approach, knowing that you do still have a second leg to be able to play for, but still keeping things tight, but also being threatening as well going forward. Because Dion is your star player. You don't want to lose him early on into the season like this. He's always going to be very cautious as to then any niggling injury, making sure that you manage it.
Thokozani Khumalo's come on in the last 3 matches in the league as a sub, so there's nothing unusual for Pitso Gladler's planning. And Philani Khumalo, a former Royal AM player, has started a couple of games already this campaign. Ball. Nuno Santos, of course, arriving towards the a couple of months into the new season. Last campaign was billed to be the replacement for Lucas Ribeiro. Of course, a completely different kind of player, but with a big pedigree. Played for Benfica, big club in Portugal. Just hasn't really rocked the scene in South Africa, I would say.
Yeah. Maybe this season can be that. A little bit of consistency as well. We know that he has that creative spark.
Now Morena into the fray. We know what he can deliver. Maybe a bit too strong there. Leon feeling he was pulled there by the defender Mabaso. Referee not interested. Sundowns have got a guard against getting a little too frustrated now. Agnikoi straight at Allende. Kulise, still Kulise, shot from him! Always going high and wide.
Yeah, he's not that type of player that really takes the shots outside the box, but it was inviting for him there. There's going to be a lot of those being required, especially there's enough space being given to Mamelodi Sundowns in around those areas.
Kulise, another fine ball. Ryan Leon looked to be half disinterested there. Now Garza, he's the last one left in this lineup with pace that can trouble Arrows. I mean Sundowns here. An opportunity off the right wing. Ball inside, in search of the substitute Thokozani Khumalo, unable to get the touch on.
Good ball, good inviting ball inside the box. Maybe Dion watching this will be like hoping that he was at the end of it, because those are dangerous balls being played for a striker to be able just to run through him. Very difficult ball also to defend.
Clearance again. No way through for Nuno Santos. The clearance this time from Shezi.
From Ball and Arrows, a lot has been asked from the defense. Has been doing very well, been solid clearing those balls, making sure that within the spaces and chances, half chances that Mamelodi Sundowns have, they make sure that they clear those balls.
25 minutes remain. Morena. Aubrey Modiba just took his eye off the ball there for a moment, but did rescue the situation. This is Matthews, Morena. And again, Maluleke, excellent defensive work in today's game. Been some really good individual performances for Arrows. Kulise's pass a little stray. Be careful not to hand opportunity for the counter. Allende, he's given it away. Now, is he onside? Well, the pass in the end from the one Khumalo to the other didn't work out.
I guess you said it right there, Marcus, to them. Mamelodi Sundowns to be very careful not to get too frustrated. You can see the way that they're playing. They just possibly playing against the time, which they shouldn't do. They should just get back to the basics that we know them of, being very control of the game. They will be able to create chances from there because the turnovers that they're giving Golden Arrows will be able to punish them with those.
Crowd want Sundowns to push forward. Causa looking for options. There is one wide here on the right with Matthews. Onto the left foot, yes, Morena. Keeper comes out, that's good work, Mbanjwa. Morena did very well to not clutter into those advertising boards behind the goal. It was a little jump for him over the top there to avoid injury.
It's a good goalkeeping as well from Mbanjwa, be able to read the pass, making himself look big.
Gasa being pulled back by Mkulisi. Free kick. Well, they don't need any reminding, Mamelodi Sundowns. They've only won this trophy 4 times. Chiefs have won it 15 times. Pirates have won it 14 times. It goes back all the way to 1972. Could it elude them again? Pirates have won 12 of 61 previous meetings against Mamelodi Sundowns. Could this be lucky number 13? Allende, Santos. Big season, of course, for Mamelodi Sundowns, African champions. They'll be competing in the Intercontinental Cup, the shortened version of the old Club World Cup in Qatar. They'll have a Super Cup game in November as well. Chance to get more continental silverware in the cupboard.
Big chance indeed. And with the squad that has been assembled, there's a lot of pressure again for Mamelodi Sundowns to continue that continental dominance.
Got a bye in the first round of the Champions League preliminary rounds. They play against either a team from Angola or the Seychelles in the second round for a place in the group phase, looking to keep up that record-breaking run of consecutive appearances in the group phase since 2012, or 2016 rather, when they won the competition. Teko Modise was still there. Header, save! Chance again! Mbanjwa. Well, second choice before today, not even ready to come on when his chance was given to him, and he's come up trumps again.
Yeah, he's been making brilliant saves. That is Mbanjwa. Very switched on, keeping Golden Arrows in the game.
A little bit too strong. This is only the 4th time in the last 11 seasons that Arrows have actually qualified for the top 8, never mind got into the semis.
As you can see here, reflexive save there from Mbanjwa, making sure also pushing the defenders on.
Matthews. Modiba, that left foot. Now, well, he played it onto the right, and then he thought to himself, oh, what have I done here now?
Yeah. And you can see that Leon already switched off there, realizing that he was in an offside position.
Another foul. "20 minutes to go." The Brains Trust have played all their cards. Made all the changes that they're allowed to. Here come Arrows, looking for another one. Offside. It goes against Shezi, the goal scorer in the quarterfinal against Kaizer Chiefs. Yes, Santos, left foot, blocked. Enough of a touch in there from Arrows to deny the chance. Good work from Manciniani.
Good work indeed. Good ball being played by Morena here, finding Santos. He was forced to put the ball on his left foot. But great work there been done by the Coronado's defense.
Now Gasa. Right footer. Oh, that was close. That's the second time now he's cut inside and tried his luck from the edge of the area.
Yeah, look at this time and space that he has. We spoke about yesterday, and the lopsided player putting on his strong foot. He wasn't far from the target.
Coach Dadler likes it. This time last season, Peter Dadler was the assistant to Gavin Hunt at Durban City. How his year changed, winning the cup, taking over in December as the full-time coach. These Arrows fans are beginning to believe now. I think they're looking at the clock. There's just over 15 minutes remaining, and Mamelodi Sundowns have got plenty of possession, but they are not looking particularly dangerous. They've had a couple of opportunities, with some stout defending at the back there from the visiting side. Here's Morena. On today for the 101st time as a substitute is Tapelo Morena. No one's ever done that before in PSL history, gone over 100 sub-appearances. Now, that should have been an earlier ball. Good challenge from Koza. Takes it away from Makwele. Modiba. Kulise. Matthews up against Shezi. Switches. Oops. Straight at Zwane. Well, to Matthews' credit, he's gone and got the ball back again.
He did. Worked hard to get that ball back. It was one of those unforced errors that we've seen so many times with the Mamelodi Sundowns play today.
Morena. Now Koza saying, come on guys, let's get forward. "15 minutes remain. Leon. Very closely watched there now. Support finally arrives from Allende. They've got the numbers in their Arrows, and they are battling away. It'll be a throw-in in favour of Sundowns. Stout defensive work again from Temba Manciniani. Last change for Golden Arrows. Gasa is going off. Van Roy is coming on. Angelo Van Roy will perhaps be the outlet for any counter.
It is a very, very lightning speed that he has. Of course, also with his defensive attributes as well, being able to come back and defend, but he will be the player that the fresh legs, whenever they are on transition, they will try and put those balls high up, long into the pitch to be able to run onto.
Nuno Santos, Brian Leon turns, blocked. Allende over the top. He was man of the match on Wednesday, Allende.
Yeah, with that total dominance on Wednesday, but today rather, very struggling. Look at that defensive work that had been done as well. Look at the amount of bodies that Golden Arrows are putting themselves into. Great defensive work there been done by Eknikoi, making sure that with Leon here with his turn, look at that.
Excellent stop.
Yeah.
He's been outstanding. Maluleke has been outstanding at left back. Zwane in the middle.
Gasa is also that attack as well.
And Sotoli with the pace. Lots of candidates here as the best player of the game. There's Van Rooij. Makwele. Trying to get themselves further up the field here, Mamelodi Sundowns. This is not a happy crowd here. Expecting more from their team. Ball in from Santos, doesn't find Morena. Allende will switch it. How much has Aubrey Modiba got left in the tank? Left foot. Cross was looking for Matthews. No, it's illegal against Kumalo. Now another inviting one. Leon looks at the referee, he's not interested.
Ever since Leon has been on the pitch, I think he needs to be a little more strong, because you can see Eknikong is playing very strong and Sinyani is playing very strong on him. He needs to be able to get onto those crosses that are coming from the left-hand side.
A rare error from Maluleke. Took his eye off the ball, maybe a bit of tiredness now seeping in. Still, Arrows keeping a clean sheet, as they have done all season long. Morena. Johannes finds Matthews. Here's Modiba. Shezi, the defender, gets the cross in, and Banjwa makes the save. Pilani Kumalo turns, Van Rooij waits. Ball, oh, it's a poor ball. There was an opportunity.
It was an opportunity indeed, and knowing as well as how Van Rooij, the speed of Van Rooij, you just need to put the ball nicely there for him to be able to run onto, and it's unfortunate for them.
Less than 10 minutes to go here. MTN semi-final, first leg. Orlando Pirates winning yesterday away against Sekhukhune. Are we going to have another away win here this afternoon? A rare home setback for Mamelodi Sundowns. This city does not regularly see the men in yellow on the losing side. Foul in favour of Arrows. They'll take their time. Yeah, it's that kind of afternoon for the Brazilians.
It is indeed very difficult. Also good in Arrows as well. Put in the shift, put in the work, knowing exactly which areas to exploit. But also frustrating Mamelodi Sundowns in that midfield. But defensively, good and also been solid.
Koza waits for Goss to come out. He's hardly had anything to do, Ricardo Goss. But his side trail here. Kulise, Allende. Santos here on the right. Morena just ahead of him. Modiba high up now on this left-hand side. Ball inside to Kulise. Matthews waits on the flank. Early ball in here, looking for Leon. Oh, if he'd left it, Morena might have been a better option.
Yeah, this time around, it's Leon that gets on the way. Lack of communication again in that box. Good ball being played by Mkulisi there. Look at the run that Morena does, and also Leon as well. Unfortunate for those two, they never communicate a little bit better, but those are the type of runs that they need to make, especially when there is time and space on the man on the ball.
Do you think this is the season we're going to see? It's been a little bit easy for the big two, Pirates and Sundowns, maybe over the last 4 or 5 campaigns. Are we going to have a lot more of these kind of matches where teams who possibly aren't going to win the championship because they don't have the depth, but they can come here and make life incredibly difficult for you and win?
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those seasons where teams are really going to make sure that, you know, whether they're playing home, whether they're playing away, playing against the two sides, they'll try and fight and actually try and get a win.
Nothing is going to be easy for the big boys in this campaign, which is, of course, good for the game. We want competition. We want to go to every game expecting something to happen for both sides, not just for one. Maluleke will give away the foul. He'll get a yellow card as well, but he did put Morena off.
Yeah, he did indeed, especially after Morena losing that ball, that tackle there. Again, it just shows you the continuity, that defensive work that Coach Douglas side has implemented into this game.
27-year-old Osborne Maluleke, only really just beginning to make an impact in the top flight. What a game he's had. Now, was there a yellow card on the bench there for assistant coach Fabio Fernandez? Getting a little overexcited. Was attempted cross is blocked by Maluleke again. Kulise, nicely done. Now the cross. Santos coming to the middle. Tignani got the clearing header. Banjwa collects. Still keep their goal intact. Do Le Montfort Golden Arrows.
Good cross being played by Mkulisi there. Again, defensive work been done very well by Golden Arrows. Also Mbanja as well, making sure that it keeps the team in game.
Morena. Santos. Leon wants the ball. Here it comes. It's behind him. Allende might get there first. He'll switch it to Modiba. Nice pass. Into Matthews. To the byline. Corner kick. Not too many corners in this game.
Yeah, not too many corners indeed. And we know that as much as Mamelodi Sundowns scored in midweek through a corner kick, it's been very difficult for them to get to those lines.
When I say that, 8 corners for Sundowns, none for Arrows. That's Santos. Allende. Santos again. Oh, an inviting little ball. Leon went perhaps a bit early. Modiba. Johannes. Matthews wide again. It's another corner. Under 5 minutes to the end of the 90. just trying to calm things down, and good game management from Christopher Kistor. Talks to Dlamini, who's the skipper since Maova went off. Now Allende. Left footer, little chip here. Leon, back heel. It's getting quite frenetic there now. Anywhere will do for Arrows. Just hoof it away. Kumalo gets the free kick. They'll take their time about this one.
So they're doing also very well. So then whenever they're under pressure, they're able also, if they're unable to get out of that pressure, they win so many fouls, because Mamelodi Sundowns now trying to counter press.
Here's Dladla. Pitso Dladla. Good ball, just a little too strong. The idea was a good one from Donyewa. He's the man now who's got to step up and take over from Khaliso Mudau. Certainly looked to push up high in this game. Perhaps not making the impact that he would have hoped for. Now Morena. Throw in. Look at the clock. Into the final 2 minutes. Santos bangs it in there. Leon with a chance. Kulise as well. And it just gets stuck in there.
It just gets stuck on the feet again. We've seen this happening with Cassius Mailula. This time around with Kulise inside that box. Look at Leon fighting for the ball. Can see Kulise trying to find space there, but that defensive work again.
Well, it's been an absorbing afternoon of cup football. Mamelodi Sundowns trail, looking for at least a goal. Make it level for the second leg. Keegan Johannes puts the header over the top.
Yeah, he finds himself free inside the box. Unfortunate for him there. Really couldn't get that ball on target.
Yep, the frustration continues. Now, we wait to find out how much time will be added on. Koza. Allende, clock ticking over, heading towards the 90. I can tell you from my vantage point up here in the commentary box, you can see the board being ready. There'll be 4 minutes added on. Yes, Morena, overcooked. And Aubrey Modiba just struggling a little bit out there now. Fatigue and the muscles are hurting. There it is, confirmation. This will be only the 12th defeat for Miguel Cardoso in his tenure at Mamelodi Sundowns. This his 93rd match in charge. He'll be steaming at the end, I'm sure. Good luck to Lwazi for the questions. Allende finds Morena. Now Matthews Need that early cross, but every time Maluleka gets the body in there, stopping Sundowns from putting the ball into the danger zone. They have to start again now on the left-hand side. Aubrey Mudiba cuts inside now. Back again. Can he deliver? Gets another corner. Mabaso with work. He's a bit of a Reggie and Globo lookalike, don't you think?
Yeah, he does. He does look like Reggie.
High ball into the danger zone. Just a little touch in there. The shot from Leon is blocked. Morena. Still turn. And, well, it was Matthews who swung a boot at it. They're claiming the corner. Referee says no.
I guess you look at here with the nice ball they've been, dropped onto Leon, but the defensive work again. But you can see that Matthews trying to improvise with just a quick shit and turn there, unable for him to get the target.
Relief for Mbanjwa as that goes past the post. No corner for Matthews. Frustration. Here's Zwane now. Pilani Kumalo. With Zwane again. Dunyelwa with a little bit of a stretch as well. His last start was in May when they lost 3-2. That game against Galaxy in Bombela is the last time he was in the starting lineup. Came on, of course, for the injured Mudau on Wednesday. Arrows want to just hold on for possession now with less than a minute to go. Kulise, Allende, Santos. Here is Brian Leon. Another corner. Still time to rescue the situation here and avoid a very rare home defeat. They need to take it quickly. Pilani Kumalo will clear it away. They're all looking at the referee now to see how much time remains. Just 5 seconds according to the clock. Mr. Kistor says it's all over. Huge and away win for the Montville Golden Arrows. They will take a 1-0 lead, an all-important away goal to next Sunday's second leg in Umlazi.
And again, Mamelodi Sundowns unable to keep that clean sheet. Coach Peter spoke about that away goal that's going to be very, very important for him, for his side. He spoke about the transitional play.